talk a little bit about the energy dimension. What is the energy dimension? Basically, whether you look at it scientifically, of E is equal to mc square, is that energy and mass are interconvertible, or to the spiritual understanding that we are simply energy showing up here in our physical cells on this planet, in this human avatar, so to speak. Or if you think of energy as something which is your life force, right? What is the difference between a body and a living body? Is that a living body is alive, right? We have this energy and the life force. So this energy is yours, right? Unfortunately, as a result of a lot of conditioning that happens right from the time you are born, you are taught that you are there for somebody else, right? Maybe you're there to fulfill your parents' dreams. Maybe if you're a woman, you're taught that you're there always to sacrifice and fulfill somebody else's dreams or fulfill somebody else's expectations. And as a result of all this, that you have to behave in a certain way, you have to show up in a certain way, you have to do certain things, like your path, your journey is already decided. As a result of this, what happens is your energy either gets suppressed because you have no place in which you can express it safely, or your energy starts leaking out, right? Because you're expected to give energy to this person, that person, attention over here, time over here, physical presence over here, none of which are the things that you really want to do for your own best possible interest. So what I want you to do now is just think a little bit. If you have a paper, you can bring a paper. If you want to close your eyes and sort of meditate on it, that's fine as well. And just think of all the various. So think of yourself like, how children, we draw the sun, we draw a circle, and then lots and lots and lots of rays, right? So imagine yourself, you are that circle, and all these lots and lots and lots of rays are all the energy that you've been giving out to everything else, right? Whether it is, as I said, any family member, if you are a parent, then maybe you're giving energy to your children. If you are in a relationship, you're giving it to your partner, you're giving it to your spouse, your parents, your colleagues at work, maybe your boss, your project, all kinds of things, right? All kinds of energies are there. So I want you to just imagine that, and then I want you to start to think of who exactly this energy is going to. Is the energy going to somebody positively, or is the energy going to somebody because it is being taken from you, right? Are you waiting for someone, right? Waiting for someone to make a commitment, waiting for someone to apologize, waiting for someone to show up for you, waiting for someone to behave nicely with you, waiting for someone to stop behaving in an abusive way, waiting for someone to stop being violent, waiting for someone to recognize you and acknowledge you, waiting for someone to hear you. That's a lot of waiting. That's a lot of waiting. That waiting is leaking away your energy towards those people, right? So I want you to first recognize that, identify that a lot of energy is leaking out just because you're waiting for someone to do something that you have expectations from them or you need from them, right? The other big energy leakage is resentment. You've been doing something for people and they're not doing it back for you, but they're taking you for granted. They are maybe walking all over you. They're just kind of, entitled, and they're expecting you're going to keep giving, and they're not giving anything back to you. That resentment, a lot of energy goes away in that, right? A lot of energy goes away also in anger, right? In your anger, in your resentment, in your idea of revenge, like I hope they get punished and they get hurt the way I got hurt. A lot of energy gets leaked out into relationships which you are not willing to close. Maybe you had a breakup, maybe you had a divorce, a separation, estrangement, whatever it may be, but you're still looking at their posts on social media. You're still thinking about them. You're still wondering, oh, I hope, they are also going through a bad time. Oh, how dare they, and how could they, and why? All those energy leaks are happening, right? Maybe you're waiting for someone to just appreciate you. That waiting can also leak a lot of energy. Maybe you are trying to, whether you realize it or not, you're trying to control someone, right? Maybe you think, oh, I know best for them. Like whether it's your children or maybe it's your parents who are growing very old, you're like, oh, I know best for them. They should keep a live-in maid. She should hire a cook. They should do this. They should do that. They're not listening to you. Your energy is draining away, right? So now what I want you to do is just sit quietly, either as I said with a notebook where you've drawn yourself, or just think you are here at the center. All this energy is leaking out. I want you to start calling it all back. Call it all back. If you can identify the names of the people who are involved, say, whatever, Akash, I'm no longer going to wait for you to apologize. I call the energy back, right? Mom, I'm going to wait for you to understand that what you did to me really hurt me. I'm calling my energy back, right? Maybe to your ex, whoever it may be, like, I I'm going to let you go and let you live your life. I'm no longer going to allow my energy to be entangled in wherever you are and in whatever happened in the past with us, right? So one by one, I want you to call all those energies back. And if you really do the exercise with full intention, you are going to feel so powerful at the end of it, because all the energy that has been leaking, like, you're going to just feel 200% more. Okay. Now the interesting thing is, this may work right now for the exercise, but you see that person, you interact with them again, whoosh, everything goes away. So in order to make this deepen and to make it fix, you need to work on the other dimensions as well. Energy is only one of the dimensions. So in the work that I've been doing with myself and with clients over the years, I have now come to realize, and I've created this method which I call the 5 dimensions method, is that the reason why, you go to maybe a workshop, or you work with a coach, or you read some book and you're like, oh my god, wow, that's it, I've got it, I've understood, sorted everything. 1 week later, new colleague comes into work and says something and you're like triggered all over again. Or 2 weeks later, you have some wedding or a family event to attend, and suddenly you're like, oh my god, like, I just hate everyone. How do you make that change permanent? That requires you to make a shift through all 5 dimensions of our human experience. So it's body, mind, energy, wisdom, and connection to your higher self, right? Those are the 5 dimensions. So if in anything that I said right now, you suddenly felt, oh my god, this is a game changer, I totally want to work with her and sort things out for myself, then of course message me, connect with me. I would love to help you in your journey. But otherwise, just stay tuned. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this 5 dimension method, because I think this is really, really the most powerful, truly game changer, and it can, completely transform and liberate you from where you are trapped and stuck right now in the old story, tangled with other people's energies, not able to listen to your own body, not able to connect to your own higher self. Everything can be resolved, so that you are here. This is it. This is your one lifetime, right? It's such a precious gift. Why do you want to spend it being tangled up in other people's issues? I'm not saying that, become selfish and stop caring for people and just abandon all your duties and responsibilities. It's possible to have duties, responsibilities, love, care, affection, do things for people, receive things for people, everything with good, healthy boundaries, proper negotiation, managing your energies, listening to your body, respecting and honoring your own self, right? Be in love with your own self. It's not as easy as I'm making it sound. Of course, it takes a lot of work, because most of us have spent our lives, like decades, being told negative things about ourselves, and those voices are still inside our head. In fact, I just did a workshop with someone. She said, everybody in my family is fair and I'm brown. And, every time I look at myself, that's all I can hear myself say. And I told her, it's not your voice. It's obviously the voice of somebody. As a child, maybe a relative came up or somebody came up and said, oh, if all of you are so fair, how come she's so brown? That voice has stayed in your head. You think it is your voice, but it's somebody else's. So unless you work on the story, you work on the body, you're not going to be able to unpack that and release it. So here is my invitation to you. Stay in touch, connect with me if you feel called to work on yourself through the 5 dimensions. Otherwise, at least, watch all the videos and understand what is it that is going to finally be, give you the freedom, the empowerment, the peace, the joy, the happiness, because that is what all of us are seeking, right? At the end of the day, and all of us deserve it as well. So I hope you've had some aha moments or some insights listening to this video, and I really look forward to hearing from you and supporting you in your journey forward.